Hello guys and welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies, and in today's video we are going to be, of course, reviewing none other than Loki. Loki episode 3 is here. What are my thoughts about it? Let's go ahead and talk about it. First off, I should say this. I think that episode 2 was better than this. Episode 2 out of 3 episodes so far is probably my favorite episode. But that isn't to say that this episode wasn't great. I give it at least a 7. It was fantastic. And really, I do think that the Loki TV show is probably going to be Marvel's best work in terms of the TV shows that they come out with. I could be wrong about that. We'll have to see about the future. But for now, I really don't think that you could do better than Loki. With that said, Marvel always tends to come up with something that's a good portion of the times ends up being better than their last project. So who knows? I think Doctor Strange is going to be amazing. And yeah, I don't know if this show is eventually going to tie into Doctor Strange. I think it kind of has to with this whole time travel and multiverse world, which is just a whole lot of fun. It really is. So, last episode, Loki followed female Loki into another world. And now we get back to that. So, we have a Loki standoff, basically. Loki fights female Loki. And they actually end up fighting to the point where they actually end up creating another portal to the other world, because female Loki obviously has the portal device to other worlds, to other points of time. And they end up going to another point in time, which ends up being another apocalypse. Except this apocalypse is kind of far worse. It's like the worst apocalypse that has ever happened, apparently. And they're kind of stuck, because during their fights, they broke the portal. They broke the little machine that creates the portals through time. So they're kind of stuck. And simply put, they have to work together to get out of this. And I like that. I like the fact that they're trying to work together to get out of this. Meanwhile, Loki is actually there trying to figure out what her plan is, what she plans to do, why she's doing this, and more importantly, possibly figure out if she's actually better than him, which she's not. She's not to me, at least. And I don't think she is to Loki either. But I really liked the episode when it came to female Loki and Loki. I really liked the episode, how it was kind of a buddy cop movie, from this point of them constantly arguing with each other, constantly throwing one-liners at each other. There was even this one really funny part where they actually find someone who is alive in like an old shack, right? And she says, "Back up, I got this." She goes in. The old lady blasts her out of the building. And then Loki tries to charm her by, being himself. He not only tries to talk her down, but then he tries to look like her husband. Turns out, she never really liked her husband that much, because she blasted him out of the shack as well. And the humor of the show is just perfect. The humor of the show was great. I really like the humor of the show. The way that they are doing the humor feels very Marvel-esque, and it's just a lot of fun. And then, after that, they finally find out that their only way off of this planet that is about to explode is possibly a ship. Mostly, not to get on the ship and escape, but because the ship is the only thing that is powerful enough to fix the portal device so they can go back into another time and save their own butts. As they do, though, they travel on train, and it's actually a really fun conversation they end up having about, love, and about what his mom was like, trying to figure out what her life was like, and trying to figure out her powers. Obviously, Loki during this whole thing is really trying to figure out her powers. She is obviously a version of Enchantress. Not a very good version of Enchantress either, in my opinion. In fact, one thing that I will say that I don't really like about female Loki is I don't think she looks like Loki enough. Does that make sense? Maybe it's just the hair. Maybe if they just had her have black hair or something. I don't know, something about the jawline, something about the black hair. I wished she looked a lot more like Tom Hiddleston. Because she really doesn't look like Loki very much to me at all. As a female Loki, at least. And yeah, her powers are what the Enchantress has. I don't really understand why her powers are so different from his when they're supposed to be the same person, just from different timelines. I don't know. It's weird, but we'll probably figure that out as the series goes on, so that's not like it is something to comment on, but it's not like jarring, like, oh, I don't like the show because of this and that. No, it's fine. I just gotta watch the rest of the show, and I want to learn more about this female Loki. I want to learn her past. I want to learn why she looks the way she does, and why is her powers the way they are. I want to figure that out. Hopefully the show will explain that by the end of the show. But I did actually really enjoy the humor in the show. That's probably one of the best things that this show has going for it, is that, and it's kind of weird, but I love WandaVision, I really do, but I don't feel like WandaVision feels like Marvel. Like, I get it, I really liked the whole thing of them going through different times, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. I really liked that. It was fantastic, but I feel like they could have spun up a little bit more Marvel humor in the show to make it feel a little bit more like Marvel. But, I love WandaVision, but it ain't perfect. And then, I do not like Falcon and the Winter Soldier at all. I don't. I feel like this show, Loki, is exactly what I was expecting a Marvel TV version of the show to be. Like, don't get me wrong, there is also, of course, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I think for the most part, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. gets that correct Marvel humor as well. I think this show, though, with the main character being one of the biggest Marvel, I was gonna say heroes, but villains, I guess, Marvel characters from the MCU movies. I think with that going for it, this is the right amount of humor, and I'm really loving what they're doing in terms of the humor of the show. I cannot say that enough. I cannot praise that enough. That this actually feels like I'm watching a Marvel movie in TV format, where a lot of the other shows, including Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. sometimes, I feel like I'm watching a show about Marvel, but it's not in the MCU, if that makes sense. So, at the end, after traveling all this way and trying to run to hopefully get to that ship, and of course I'm kind of skipping over the fact that they got kicked off the train when they got found out that they weren't passengers and didn't have tickets. once they get there, to the city, possibly to the ship that could save their life, and the ship blows up. Literally a meteorite from the other destroying planet that's falling on top of this planet, creating the whole situation that they are in with the apocalypse. It literally smashes through that ship and ends right there. I have no idea how the heck they're gonna get out of this. I have no idea how they're gonna get out of this. That's the only thing. I will say that. I have no idea. No idea how they're gonna get out of this. I can't wait to figure it out though. Obviously you will not kill Loki in this show. Come on. Let's not kill off the main character of the show. I really hope they don't do that. Because, I mean, if you killed Loki off, I guess you could still just have female Loki. I don't want that, though. I want this to be the main Loki show, you know? Well, it's Loki from another universe, but you know what I mean. I want Loki to be Loki in this show. So, yeah, I hope they don't kill him off. But with that said, thank you guys for watching. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts about Loki episode 3. I love this show. I love this show so much. I cannot wait to see what happens in episode 4. Thank you guys for watching, and I am out. Bye.